Hello again everybody and welcome back to another edition of On the Range, and today I'm in the TF-51 Mustang, which is a two-seater, kinda two-seater version of the P-51 Mustang, but it is one of the aircraft that comes for free with the DCS World software, and especially if you're new to DCS World, chances are it'll be one of the first aircraft that you fly. So what I want to do with this video is hopefully save you a little bit of confusion and help you out when it comes to getting your flight controls set up to work properly when you first fly a new aircraft in DCS World. Now, whenever you initially select an aircraft and fly it, the software does a best guess to set up whatever you have externally as far as a joystick, a throttle, or rudder controls, or if you're just using your keyboard and making it work like that, it doesn't matter, but the software makes a best guess on what axis performs what action. Like, for example, it is correctly assumed that if I push down on my joystick that I'm going like that. If I pull back, I am pulling back in pitch. If I roll, it rolls. If I roll right, it rolls right, etc., etc. But watch what happens when I move my throttle. My throttle is associated with yaw control. If I move my rudders, yeah, it is doing yaw, but it's also doing a little bit of a roll as well. And boy, if I hit my toe brakes on my rudders, very bad things happen. So that means that I do have some initial setup work to do, and this happens every time that you start a new aircraft and initially fly the aircraft in the flight sim. So what I always do the very first time is load up a mission like this. It's just a basic air start, puts me in the air quick and dirty. I want to, once I'm in the air, hit escape, and now I can go to this button right here that says adjust controls. And this gives me the ability to, from within the flight simulation, without having to leave the cockpit, to assign buttons to my joystick, my throttle, or assign axes to my joystick, throttle, or my rudder, or change and modify keyboard commands. And it works by creating a profile for each aircraft, and in this case the profile is called TF-51 Real. And all the changes that I make to it are going to apply to every time that I fly this aircraft. So if I bring up this command, and it's the axis commands, this is the one that I initially want to get right, because this is the one that controls the aircraft in the air. So you can see that, for example, for my pitch control, it is correctly assumed that my joystick y-axis needs to control pitch, but it is also assigned an axis on my throttle and on my rudder to control pitch. So what I need to do is pick and choose which ones are correct and keep them, and then modify the ones that are incorrect and change them to whatever matches the setup that I have. So for pitch, I'm going to leave the joy Y in the joystick as it is, but I'm going to remove the joy Y axis from the throttle and the rudder. So I select and highlight whichever one that I want to remove, and I can hit clear. It's as easy as that. Now the only thing affecting pitch on the aircraft is when I push back and pull forward. Push forward and pull back even on the joystick. If I come down to roll, okay, it's got roll for the x-axis of my joystick, so I remove it from the throttle and remove it from the rudder. For my rudder, okay, that's correct. It has my rudder RZ, rudder z-axis assigned, so I want to remove this from the throttle. And that's going to get my basic controls set up. So when I hit OK, now I have good response in roll, pitch, and rudder, but I still have a little bit of work to do with my throttle. Now, I have and it doesn't really matter what type or what you're using, this is going to apply to anything, but the setup that I have is a Thrustmaster Warthog Cortex. So I have two throttle levers that I can assign, and I'm going to assign those throttle levers to my throttle control and to my prop pitch control. So if I go back to that screen, I go to Adjust Controls, go to Axis Commands, and you can see that my throttle is already set up with the slider, and that's Joy Slider 1. That's not the one that I want. I want to clear that one out, and I want to make it the left-hand throttle on my Thrustmaster, which will match the left-hand, I guess, throttle control right here that you see in the cockpit of the TF-51. So what I do to make that happen is highlight the field and then hit Add. Now when this comes up, I move the lever back and forth, whichever one that I want to control the throttle, hit OK, And now when I get back into the cockpit, that's going to be controlling my throttle. Now I had one more that I wanted to set up, and that was the prop pitch, or as it's called here, engine RPM setting. So again, I highlight the field, hit add, move the lever back and forth until it picks up on it, hit OK, and now when I get back into the aircraft, okay, I'm moving the throttle lever and it's controlling the throttle. I'm moving the prop pitch lever and it's controlling the prop pitch and helping me control the engine RPM and get everything back into the green where it's where you're going to get the best life out of your engine. So folks, that's just a quick and dirty, basic step-by-step of what I do every time that I get into a new aircraft in a DCS World flight sim. And this is actually the first time that I've flown the TF-51, so I'm going to hang out here, do some more setup, and see how she flies. But hopefully that did help you out, and I hope that you did enjoy it. So I will see you next time.